How's everybody doing? I hope you're having a beautiful day so far. Listen, get ready for the hottest weather so far of the year. Yes, yes, the temperatures this weekend will be a scorcher. Yeah, you got to be careful. Make sure you check on your plants, your animals, our elders and family members who are, not moving as swiftly as they used to. Remember, the weather this weekend will be extremely warm. We have looking at a weather.com, the outlook at on Saturday is about 90 degrees. The feels like temperature even higher than that. So it will be a hot, hot, all who feel hot say hot, hot. Yeah, hot, hot, hot weekend. Welcome, one and all. This is the Susan Speak Show. If you're new here, welcome. I am your hostess with the mostest right here on Voice of the Caribbean. Heard live. Yes, man, this is a live show. So talk to me for real. Every Thursday and Friday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. right here on 101.5 FM, HE2, and simulcasting throughout Broward County on 96.9 FM. It is a beautiful day. What do I do here? I talk sports, politics, Hollywood, social media trends, and a little bit of everything, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, because there's so much happening in the world around us. So I call myself, I guess you could call it a social critic or commentator, whatever you want to call it. But as an attorney by day who enjoys, community building and public advocacy, it's really important for me as I step inside the studio each and every Thursday and Friday to bring you news you can use. Of course, we talk about the trends. What are people talking about? Well, what is making news, and I will put it this way, what I see a lot on social media, but I don't see a lot on mainstream news. That's what I like to bring you sometimes, because you'll hear it here first on Voice of the Caribbean, the Susan Speak Show. But sometimes the mainstream, or a little bit more popular mainstream outlets, take some time to cover some of the stories we're going to cover here, because I like to cover stories that impact us, right? Both here in South Florida and throughout the diaspora. And we like to talk about what's really making the world say, ready? Making the world say, remember? Things that make you go, Yeah, that's what we talk about here. So welcome. If you want to call me, you can call me. Fix my mic, sorry. 850-446-0562, 850-446-0562. You guys know about the celebrity soccer match. I hope you do. The celebrity soccer match, by the time you blink, it will be here. I had so much fun. Big up the General Mike, big up Humble Lion, and big up the whole Voice of the Caribbean crew that will be in the park, right? That's happening at the Lauderhill Sports Complex. When? Memorial Day Monday. So if you didn't know, if you're just tuning in, please know that we're going to have, again, the annual big celebrity football match, artists versus media versus selectors, right? So everybody outside, brought to you by the City of Lauderhill, Vice Mayor Richard Campbell. Thank you so much for your partnership, along with Justiflex, also presented by Consul General Oliver Mayer. And we're going to have a fun time. The tickets are on sale. If you, no, I just saw the note, you guys. Added. Mike, I really think this. Baby Sham is going to be playing, for real. Baby Sham, my Sham baby. Him just go by Sham now. I'm not really say the baby part again. Him just say Sham. But yes, my DJ. Oh my gosh. What a deal when the tables return. Yeah, big up Baby Sham anyway. I'm there. Can't believe he'll be on the field and on the pitch. Yeah, we have Lukey D. We have, let me see, Eva Mar. We have Christopher Martin. We have Chuck Fender. Tony Monteron. Mad Cobra. Also, we have Tony Curtis, Dax the Daps for the ladies, Mr. Lex. I see Lali. Yeah, man, everybody there. I'm so excited. It's going to be a fun time. Of course, that again is at the Lauderhill Sports Complex. Actually, I'm feeling kind of generous. How about you use my last name when you go onto Eventbrite, right? Go onto eventbrite.com, and then you're going to look up celebrity football match. Use my last name, Speaks. Right? Speaks with an S. Use my last name, and you will get $5 off your ticket. $5 off your ticket. That is what we're offering today. Make sure you go on now on Eventbrite. Look up Celebrity Football Match again. It is affordable and it is family friendly. Lots of fun. Food trucks, of course. Music, of course. Vendors, kids activities. And we also offer a VIP section. Yeah, man. Excited about that, man. So it's going to be a fun Memorial Monday brought to you by Voice of the Caribbean. Big up Mike and the team. Winnie Wonder, I'm calling on him too. Fata Diamond. Oh, also, our selectors, Wagwan, Louis Spree, Super Twitch, Dub Master Chris. We also have performers Teflon, Mega Bantan, Galaxy PE, Wagwan, Smoky Fire, Futa Hype, Ago Kickball, yes, Tony Rufino, Richie Poo, and Gandhi, and many more, guys. We're so excited. It is going to be a wonderful community affair. Big up everybody watching online. If you didn't know, you can see me live in the studio. Thank you, Mikey, for fixing up my camera them. And you can see us on voiceofthecaribbean.com. You can also watch me on the YouTube side. Big up everybody on the YouTube. Your girl feeling minimalist today. Yes, I got on the red dress, red tank top dress because it's hot. As I told you, be careful. South Florida will be seeing very, very hot temperatures throughout the weekend. Now, we could talk about some of the cases. As an attorney, I'm looking at this new case being filed against former Miami Dolphin Tyreek Hill in a civil trial. We just got off of the Stephon Diggs trial where he was found not guilty or non-liable in a case. We had the Met Gala Monday. It was Met Gala Monday. Some of you guys are still talking about some of the outfits and things like this. And I don't know. I enjoyed some of it. What I really enjoyed, what I really enjoyed is looking up some of the art that inspired the different looks. Now, the Met Gala is a fundraiser for the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York, and it is attended by some very, very affluent people, not only celebrities, but just people who contribute. I think they made in the 40 million plus mark, fundraised. I wouldn't say made, but it is their main fundraiser for the museum and all of its work. So it goes to the arts, and I really do believe in the arts. But some of the outfits, like I said, some people love them, some people love to hate them. But what I found most interesting was being able to look up where they gained the inspiration for some of the looks from. So anyway, you can still look at some of the Met Gala stuff. I really want to talk to you about what's going on in Tennessee. That's what's on my heart today. Of course, we did some unpacking of what's happening on the cruise ship. Remember, the Hantavirus is not an imminent threat to our global population. However, many people are concerned with the cruise ship that is stranded, and there are Americans still on board that has had an outbreak just on the cruise ship of the Hantavirus, which is a known, very lethal virus that is not treatable. I mean, you can treat it, you can't cure it, I should say that. They can treat the symptoms, but it is often devastating and even deadly. So people are still staying on top of that story. I covered it at length yesterday. We talked healthcare yesterday. If you didn't tune in, you missed a wonderful show brought to you by the Florida Health Justice Project. And they were talking about what to do if you're uninsured and where to get health care, right? We want everyone, no matter if you have insurance or if you don't have insurance. They say as much as 16%, I would say maybe even more, of South Florida doesn't have health insurance. So we did a good deep dive. You can find some of the clips on YouTube. But yeah, we're talking weather, but I really want to talk about what's going on in Tennessee because something similar just happened in Florida last week on the Suzette Speaks show. You guys know I cover politics. I want to play a clip from the Don Lemon show. I was listening this morning to Don Lemon interview Tennessee politician Justin Pearson. Now, in all disclosure, I've seen Justin Pearson speak live here in Florida, and he's a very passionate young man representing his district. And what's going on in Tennessee is what's going on around the country, which is that since the Supreme Court ruled in a recent case that was passed down, last week, Wednesday, and in that case, basically decided that it was not illegal for partisan gerrymandering, basically drawing maps. Now, I always use these words, and sometimes I realize that my listeners may not be as up into politics as I am, but the drawing of the maps for electing people to serve you, both locally on the local level and state level, but most importantly in Washington, D.C. on the national level. When you draw those maps, when our legislature draws those maps, which is the people that we elect in Tallahassee and in state capitals around the country, each and every state has a legislature that is allowed to draw maps for how people are elected. Well, in our state, we have seen a new map come out, and it is heavily favoring Republicans, and there's been a lot of lawsuits because we broke it down last week, right as it came out. right here on the Suzette Speak Show. We talked about what's going on with these maps, and we will continue to break down some of the changes in the congressional districts. What happened basically? Out of all the congressional seats, these are the people that go to represent us in Washington, D.C. Our legislature in Florida has decreased the amount of Democrats and increased the amount of Republicans representing the state, meaning the type of districts that are drawn favor Republicans more. And it is quite disturbing, some would say, and there have been a lot of lawsuits now filed. And I've been reading some of the lawsuits. I'm going to break them down here as to what is the reasoning why we're seeing some of these changes and are they legal. So let me see. Which outlet do I want to use? Because I'm looking at, let's see here. This is out of the West Coast of Florida, the Panhandle WGCU News. I'd like to take it from South. Oh, actually, this is from Southwest Florida, Naples area. So in this article, breaking down the changes in Florida's new congressional districts. This was published back on just a couple of days ago, May 5th, by Gray Rohrer. I don't know if I'm saying the last name right. Rohrer. This is what they have told us out of Tallahassee. Governor Ron DeSantis signed a new law on Monday, creating a new congressional map, right? So that map reworked 21 of Florida's 28 U.S. House districts. So Florida sends 28 people to the Congress, to the United States Congress, House of Representatives. So with those 28 seats that Florida has, they redrew, reworked, redistricted, all meaning the same thing, 21 of those seats, 21 of those districts, right, out of the 28 U.S. House districts that Florida has. So while districts 1 through 7, which is quite interesting, and District 1 through 7 are all up north from the Panhandle, like Panama City, to the Tallahassee area, to the Gainesville area, to Jacksonville, right? Duval, all the way to Palm Coast, up across the Panhandle, right across to North Florida. Those districts have not been touched. This is interesting, right? Because there's been a lot of growth in those districts, especially like Jacksonville area. A lot of people have moved there. However, while districts 1 through 7 are unchanged, many of the others are significantly altered. This is according to WGCU News. Some of the changes have been changed in ways that will leave incumbents and potential candidates scrambling to see which district they'll actually be running in now ahead of the qualifying, which starts June 8th. So listen to it. So you had a map with 28 districts of Florida. Now the legislature has passed a new map changing 21 of them in significant ways. So the people who thought they knew which district they were going to run in, now with this new map that was passed during this special session in Tallahassee, now people don't even understand how much this is going to affect who represents them. You may be in an area, in a community that was normally represented by most likely a Democrat because of the type of voters living in that district. Well, guess what? It's been switched up. And a lot of people have been cut out of their normal district and put in other ones that might be majority Republican voter leaning. So listen to this. A voting rights group filed suit against the new districts in Leon County Court soon after Ron DeSantis signed the bill, which is called HB1D. But for now, the districts in the new map are the ones that are in play. It's very important. Here is a breakdown of some of the changes. So, District 8, under the prior map, the district included Indian River and Brevard counties and pushed into Orange County, with about 2,800 votes there. In the new map, the district drops Indian River County and drives deeper into West Orange County, picking up 160,000 votes from Orange County residents, according to the 2020 U.S. Census. So if you're in that area, U.S. Rep. Mike Haridopoulos, who is a Republican from Merritt Island, is the incumbent and is expected to run in the same districts. I want to get to some of the ones in South Florida so we can understand what's going on and what have changed in our area. Now listen to this. District 20. District 20, the South Florida district, was the main example Ron DeSantis pointed to as a racial gerrymander favoring black voters that needed to be redrawn. So this is the governor's point, according to WGCU News, saying that District 20, which covered parts of Miami-Dade and Broward County, was racially gerrymandered, meaning it was intended so that the black majority of voters that lives in that district could be represented by someone like them. Now he's calling it that is unacceptable, paraphrasing, but he said it needed to be redrawn. Now, the prior district had so-called skinny fingers, meaning little parts of here, little parts of there, stretching all the way from West Palm and Plantation cities closer to Atlantic Coast westward to the Atlantic Coast westward into rural Palm Beach and Broward counties. The new district is centered wholly within Broward County, including the cities of now District 20. This is the district that prior to this, we saw names like Sheila Shirtless McCormick. We saw names like Luther, Uncle Luke Campbell. We saw names like former Broward County Mayor Dale Holness. Now, guess what? Now the district is centered solely. There's no Palm Beach in it. There's no Miami-Dade in it. The new district is centered wholly within Broward County. So the seat now includes the cities of Margate, Oakland Park, North Lauderdale, Tamarack, Lauderhill, Lauderdale Lakes, and parts of Fort Lauderdale, Coconut Creek, Coral Springs, Deerfield Beach, Plantation, Pompano Beach, and Sunrise. So it changes the dynamics of District 20. There's no more parts of Palm Beach, no more parts of Miami. It has now become one seat in the central Broward region. Now, District 20 was held by United States Representative Sheila Shirtless McCormick until last month, when she resigned ahead of a vote that was set to oust her from Congress based on alleged ethics violations. She's facing a separate criminal probe, according to WGCU News, over alleged $5 million in terms of theft of FEMA funds. But she has said she will run to get her seat back. So Sheila Shirtless McCormick's district has been changed by this map significantly. So according to WGCU News, that means former Democratic Broward County Mayor Dale Holness and Luther Campbell, as I told you, the founding member of the legendary and controversial rap group, I threw that in, 2 Live Crew, have filed to run in a seat, the same seat in the Democratic Party. Now looking to District 21. This district used to have a larger chunk of North Palm Beach County under the old map, but gives up some of that inland territory while taking in parts of Indian River County to the north. What does that mean? While holding on to Martin County and St. Lucie counties and the cities of Jupiter and Palm Beach Gardens, this seat is currently held by United States Representative Brian Mast, Republican from Palm City. He's the incumbent, and he's expected to run for the same seat. There's some other changes, y'all, when it comes to District 22. In terms of, now we're talking about redistricting, if you just joined me. Suzette Speaks here, talking about the new maps in Florida, because I'm going to talk to you about the new maps all over, because we're seeing a pattern across the country. Now that the Supreme Court has said that legislatures of each state, meaning the state governments, the state House of Representatives and the state Senates, have the right to redraw their districts based on their political leanings, according to the Supreme Court. That's not illegal. But what we saw in the Louisiana case that was adjudicated last Wednesday, what we saw is that the Supreme Court, in a 6-3 decision, threw away Louisiana's map because they said a district that they had for Congress. Now, remember, Louisiana is a third black. They would have 2 of the 6 districts be majority black leaning. saying that the district that was drawn, the second district Louisiana drew in favor of or trying to allow access to black voters to have a congressperson that reflected their values, their lived experiences, their worldview was illegal because it explicitly favored black voters. So Louisiana is down a congressional seat with a large, significant black population because the Supreme Court said, no, 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 that seat shouldn't have been drawn. And we saw immediately that the Louisiana governor, Governor Landry, canceled already underway elections to redraw the map and say, okay, no more black leaning seat. Nope, nope, nope. We're going to redraw it. So what does this mean? Well, many argue that this is a dilution of political power, and we're seeing the same thing in Florida, where there were many districts, about 8, that were Democratic leaning. This new map, according to experts, only now have 4 out of the 28 congressional seats in Florida, 4 now Democratic leaning. So what does that mean in the state of Florida, where there used to be 8 people out of the 28 that went to the United States Congress, the United States House of Representatives to represent us, 8 on average were Democrats out of the 28. 20 Republicans, 8 Democrats. Now with this new map being drawn, it is likely that that number will be cut in half to only about 4 Democrats representing Florida in the United States Congress. This is very significant. Now we see the same thing just happened in Tennessee, and after the break I'm going to tell you what happened because it's not being, I think, as covered as it should be in the mainstream media. Right now, all over social media though, people are showing the protests that are happening across Tennessee. So I ask you, in Florida, how come we haven't seen the same response? Do people care? Are they mad enough? Do they understand the implications enough that the Democratic voting bloc or power that was held in Congress from Florida is being cut in half due to a redistricting map, a new map that has been signed into law by Governor Ron DeSantis and was approved by the Republican-controlled Florida legislature? Now, writing a new map, cutting out districts that heavily more favor Republicans. What happens to the voters who now will have less of a voice because of this new map? I don't know about Florida. I don't know why. Again, I don't know if it, I've seen lawsuits, and we can talk about some of the lawsuits being filed against this new redistricting map. But what I saw in Tennessee, I have to play a little bit of it because Tennessee Republicans, just the latest in the dominoes to fall, Tennessee Republicans, according to USA Today, have now passed a new congressional map splitting Memphis. Memphis, if you don't know, is again the heart of the black community, of a centralized black community in Tennessee. Home of the blues, deep, rich culture in Memphis. But it's now being split in two so that it's less likely that a black person or person that is Democratic leaning and happens to be black is going to represent them because they put those votes into majority Republican leaning districts now. They cut them in half. Memphis, the big old city of Memphis. The new map, according to USA Today, at President Trump's request, is designed to increase the number of Republican-held seats in Congress, and civil rights activists protested, and the NAACP filed suit to block this map. We're going to talk more about this. We got to take a quick break here on the Suzette Speaks Show. Know that you can follow us on all social media. Download the app. Voice of the Caribbean is an app in the App Store, y'all. So make sure you take us wherever you go. You can follow us on all social media, Voice of the Caribbean. You can follow me, Suzette Speaks, 1Z2Ts, your hostess with the mostest. Got to take a quick break, y'all. But we're going to be back talking more politics right after this.
The City of Lauderdale, the Voice of the Caribbean.
Hey, guys. I got to turn down the air. My throat, oh, my hair is still wet. I washed it. Barely got, let me go turn up the air. My throat is about to give out. Hope you're having a great day. Hey. Oh, thank you. They turned up the AC on me anyway, which I needed. My throat is so dry. I want to play a part of Justin Pearson, but he curses.
Monday, May 25th, at the Lauderhill Sports Complex, 7500 West Oakland Park Boulevard in Lauderhill. Presented by the
I
City of
do not
Lauderhill,
want
the voice of the
cursing on the
Caribbean, and
radio.
Just the Flags. Sponsored by Vice Mayor
Oh,
Richard
I want to be able
Callahan.
to play this. How are y'all doing? Happy
For more
Friday.
info, call
I want to talk
954-816-2993
Tennessee.
or
I want to be able to play
954-999-0070.
some of this, but
Purchase
I
tickets
don't want him to
online.
curse.
Eventbrite.com/celebrity football
Please,
match
Lord, I don't
smartest
want him to
versus
curse.
selectors. South Florida, get ready.
I think I'm going to start right here with Justin Pearson. The thing is, Justin Pearson in this interview with Don Lemon calls the president a racist. I don't want to, I got to do my caveat that that doesn't necessarily represent his station or his listeners. I forgot to say all the national days. The month of May celebrates a lot of national days, like mental health. I forgot to say National Day of Prayer yesterday. What is celebrated in the month of May? It's National Mental Health. I need to get a mental health person. What else is in May? Yes, welcome back. It's the Suzette Speak Show. How we doing? I was just saying that the month of May um, is Haitian American Heritage Month. I know that. I thought national months for May. There's so many, and I didn't get to also recognize that yesterday was the National Day of Prayer, and I hope you did say a little prayer yesterday. But there's so many national awareness months this time of year that I always want to be sure to acknowledge it. But I know it's National Mental Health Awareness Month, and I'm actually going to look for some mental health experts to talk to me in this month because I think our community always needs the open invitation to talk about mental health because we are so impacted by it, and sometimes we act like it's not an issue, and it's something that can impact us and even our families for generations. Right now life is so stressful. I encourage everybody, let me just say that again, the opinions and the issues raised on the Susan Speak Show reflect that of the host, our guests, and our callers, and don't necessarily reflect that of the management and ownership of the Voice of the Caribbean. So viewer and listener discretion is advised. You guys know how it go because your girl is very opinionated. But yes, getting back to listen, I don't know. This is a nationaldaycalendar.com. It's saying it's National Mental Health Awareness Month. It's also saying Get Caught Reading Month. Did somebody just make that up or is that a real thing? Get Caught Reading Month? Okay. I see it also says find monthly celebrations and observances in May. It says Older Americans Month. Did you guys know this? That May is Older Americans Month? I hope this is not factual. Now, National Military Appreciation Month. That's nice. National Military Appreciation Month. National Moving Month. Okay. Skincare Awareness Month. Okay. Learning something. Uh, I heard this Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. I did not know that, but I heard it this year. I was like, is May also? I know Haitian American month, but I didn't know it was Asian American and Pacific Islander Awareness Month as well. I didn't know that. National Dental Care Month. Okay. I guess with all the different causes, there are so many things celebrated each and every month. So it doesn't surprise me that it's so many. Global Employee Health and Fitness Month. Did you ever hear of this? Global Employee Health and Fitness Month. Okay. I did. Did I say National Dental Care Month? National Egg Month. Now they making it up now. May. Did what it's saying now. National Egg Month. National Salsa. Like not the dance, but the actual food. Salsa. Salsa verde, all of that. Okay, National Blood Educate. What is this? National Blood Education Pressure Month. Now, come on. Blood pressure education, I think is how it should be written, but it's written National Blood Education Pressure Month. National Wildfire Awareness Month. Now, I did learn this also. Jewish American Heritage Month is May too. Correct your posture month. Now they making it up. National Barbecue Month. Whatever you want to celebrate. May is your month, apparently. It's also, I did know this, National Stroke Awareness Month. Yeah, man. National Stroke Awareness Month. Now, I didn't ever hear that it's National Chamber Music Month, as well as National Strawberry. Have a strawberry. Did I eat strawberries this week? I feel like I had strawberries this weekend. This past weekend when I was hosting. Shout out to everybody who attended the Infertility Survivors Day. Good Friday if you're just joining me. This is Suzette Speak Show. I was just talking about what national observances there are this month. Yes, I did know about Haitian American Heritage Month. I did know about National Stroke Awareness. I did not know that it was National Strawberry. Have a strawberry, y'all. Strawberry month. Blood pressure awareness month. Okay. Who knew? Asian Pacific Islander. Okay. National Water Safety Month as well. Okay. National Inventors Month. Now, come on now. Oh, National Foster Care Month. That's beautiful. National Photography Month. American Cheese Month. May is apparently a very popular month. Melanoma awareness. Okay. What? National Bike Month? All right, y'all. I think I'm in the rabbit hole of what we celebrate in May. But shout out to you. Motorcycle awareness, apparently. Returning Youth Month. Okay. Date Your Mate Month. They have a May is Date Your Mate Month. I don't have no mate, but shout out to you. International Drum Month, National Lyme Disease Awareness Month, National Salad. I had salad this week. Yay for me. National Salad Month. We'll go over some of this next week. This is I don't know, Hamburger Month? National Hamburger Month. Okay. Better Speech and Language Month. Well, everybody have to have something to remember. All right. National Brain Tumor Awareness, Celiac Disease Awareness, Cystic Fibrosis Awareness, Mediterranean Diet Month, and National Asparagus Month. I'm sure you found something to celebrate as we get back into the politics. I'm Suzette Speaks. If you're just joining me, it is a beautiful day in South Florida. Make sure you stay cool this weekend, y'all. I'm going to be inside. I do have a couple birthday parties to go to, friends and family celebrating over the weekend. What you into? Yeah, it is warm to say the least outside. It is 90s all weekend, and I'm talking about not a cloud in the sky. This morning when I went early to work out, I was hot, hot, hot. When I tell you, it was not pretty, and I ended up having to run on the shaded path, and I'm really serious about that. My coach was like, "You're not doing the track?" No, sir, it's hot. What are you talking about? So we went off in the beaten path just to make sure we was not melting. The chocolate melts. You know how that goes. So we was not. I was so glad when he did a workout for me that was mostly indoor. Thank you very much. So yeah, we did a lot of banded work, banded squats, and banded. You know when you do abductor or whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about? Okay, my fitness people know what it is. And side walks, like side steps with the band on it, and lunges and stuff. He didn't kill me too much. I did the hex bar though. I did lift a little heavier at the end, but it was indoor, thank goodness. So I wasn't burning up. But you must know that it is going to be a hot weekend. So please take in your plants, water them, check on your elders, especially those who may be living. I know it would be crazy not to have AC right now, but some don't. So as I actually put my hair in a ponytail right now, if you're watching online, because it's kind of warm out here. Your girl washed her hair this morning, didn't even get to dry it fully. But I figured it was so hot outside, it would just dry by itself. It's kind of working a little bit. Anyway, I wanted to play you a clip from the Don Lemon Show. If you're just tuning in, welcome. The time is now 1:39, brought to you by Florida Health Justice Project right here on the Suzette Speak Show. We have a lot to talk about. Miami names a new police chief. Edwin Lopez has just been named the top cop for the city of Miami. Police Chief Manny Morales retires later this year. And Doral Police Chief Edwin Lopez has just been named the new Miami Police Chief. During his time in the city of Doral over the last 25 years, his department has supported, his impact or speaks very highly of him. I'm just reading directly from NBC 6 News, and so that's making news in Miami right now. I was just telling you about the redistricting that's going on in the state of Florida. It has passed. Ron DeSantis has signed it into law. Out of the 28 congressional seats of Florida, 28 seats that go from Florida to Washington, D.C. to represent us in the United States House of Representatives, 8, as of last week, were represented by Democrats and 20 by Republicans. Well, according to this new map drawn by the Republican leading state legislature, the same people in Tallahassee, majority Republicans, who make our laws and make our maps, now only has what many are arguing are about four Democratic leaning seats out of 28 instead of eight. So the amount of Democratic representation has been cut, many are arguing, in half by the new maps. They are being challenged in the court of law. We'll see, because remember, Florida had an actual constitutional amendment that was signed in by the voters prohibiting any partisan gerrymandering in our state map making and our redistricting, what we call gerrymandering. But now it looks like that's exactly what is happening. Guys, I wanted to tell you, and I'm going to play a little bit of the Don Lemon show from this morning, because the Tennessee legislature has just done the same thing. And they, let me tell you, they showed up. Tennessee showed up in their state capital when this went down just yesterday. What happened? Well, according to USA Today, Tennessee's what we call legislature, they call it the General Assembly. That's their House of Representatives and their Senate in the state capital of Tennessee. Well, when same thing they did in Florida, Tennessee, we saw their General Assembly approve a new congressional map yesterday, May 7th, that splits Memphis, a predominantly black city, and divides the city's majority black voters into neighboring districts. Why? Intended to eliminate the state's last Democratic congressional seat. Republican Governor Bill Lee signed the state's new redistricting map into law following a chaotic scene before the assembly's vote. Democrats and protesters said the map purposely spreads Memphis's 64% black population into three majority white districts. So instead of all the black people being in one district where they have an opportunity to vote for someone again who has their similar mindset, life experiences, political leanings, etc., they divided it in, political jargon. They say they cracked the district. Instead of one solid black majority district, Memphis has 64% black population. They cracked it. They split it up and put a little bit of black people in each of three majority white districts. What does that mean? There will not be a majority black district where they can possibly send someone like themselves to the United States Congress. So what did we see? Tennessee State Rep Ramesh Akbar, a Democrat from Memphis, said, "What is being proposed right here is not just the redrawing of districts, it's the breaking apart of a people." According to Tennessee State Rep, once again, Ramesh Akbar, Democrat from Memphis, said, "It's the fracturing of history. It's the diluting of a voice that generations of people bled for, marched for, and died to build." Tennessee's congressional map is the first to be redrawn since the Supreme Court's ruling. What I told you last week, we discussed it, April 29th, weakened the remaining provision of the Voting Rights Act, making it tougher for states to create minority-dominated districts. The High Court last month voted 6-3 to throw out the congressional map in Louisiana, which I've been telling you about, that had been drawn to protect the voting power of black residents, a decision that limits the landmark civil rights law. No longer, as the Supreme Court now says, can there be a district voted with majority black people in mind. It might happen to be that way, but you can't openly say, well, we want to make sure black voters aren't empowered by drawing this district, so we're going to draw a district fairly to allow the citizens or the folks that are concentrated within that district to be majority black. You can't do that anymore. So what are they doing? They're doing the exact opposite and diluting all of the power into other majority, and in the state of Florida, now we see it in Tennessee, Republican leading districts. So there's no more majority black district where their vote would be seen as influential and hopefully electing somebody, again, reflective of their community. Now they're being diluted into other districts. Little piece there, little piece here, little piece there. Sorry, you'll never be the majority again in a district. In Tennessee, the newly drawn districts, according to the USA Today's article, split the state's 9th congressional district to carve up Tennessee's only majority black congressional seat into 3 districts, 2 of which stretch from Memphis to Williamson County outside of Nashville. Meanwhile, Nashville and its surrounding counties have been split into 5 districts, up from 4. State Republican lawmakers approached the map in a, approved the map in a frenzied 3-day special session. They repeatedly said the map was drawn for political expediency to solidify Republicans' quote partisan advantage. According to one Republican, quote, the map was drawn to maximize Republicans' ability to win 9 congressional seats. Tennessee State Senator John Stevens, a Republican from Huntington, the bill sponsor, said the goal of this legislation is to support the National Republican Party's ability to defend the Republican majority in Congress. They just say it out loud, honey. Let me play a little bit of a clip from the Don Lemon show interviewing Tennessee Representative Justin Pearson. I think he had planned to run for Congress, but there's no more district where he can win because it has been diluted, like we've seen in Florida with new maps. Now, I also can go into some detail with what's happening here in South Florida. As I just told you, District 20, which used to have parts of Palm Beach, parts of Broward, parts of Miami-Dade, is now being consolidated into one Broward County Center District. What does that mean? People who have normally run in different districts are being forced, if they want to win, because that is now the sole Democratic leaning district in South Florida. All of these great leaders are going to have to run against each other because there's no other district where they can likely win because it's been drawn that way. Where again, black and majority minority districts are being diluted, cut in half, cut up, and put a little bit into a majority Republican leaning district so they will not have influence on the outcome the way they once did. So I did get a statement. Should I read it from the Broward Democratic Black Caucus? The Broward Democratic Black Caucus put out a statement discouraging a certain congressperson. Let me pull it up and read it directly. From running because they say it will be competitive and they think preference should be given to a black representative since all the districts are going to be cut in half. So I don't know. It is really sad, and some would argue purposefully being drawn in this manner so that it can, or certain parties can stay in control. And again, opinions expressed on the Suzette Speak Show do not represent the ownership, right, management of the Voice of the Caribbean. We are just discussing this, I'm calling it horrible political trend, my personal opinion, and what it means to the voters here, not only in South Florida, not only in Florida at large, but across the country, because we're seeing this global trend. Y'all want me to get back into the Hantavirus? There's a global race right now to track that Hantavirus that is spreading across suspected cases due to a cruise ship. But people who were on the cruise ship have been sent back to some of their home countries, including the United States. Thankfully, some of the passengers who were back in the United States, at least 5 of states, their health departments are monitoring them for any symptoms because there were 17 Americans among the cruise ship, which is called the MD Hondius. And some of them did get off in St. Helena and fly back to their countries of origin, not knowing that they were possibly exposed to hantavirus. Why is this important? Hantavirus is highly contagious, at least this version of it. They have not confirmed the version. They're still researching, but many experts are speculating that it is the Andes version, the Andes virus, which is a person-to-person spreader, similar to what we've seen, in past pandemics. Past pandemics too. The COVID, this is making everybody nervous because we heard about COVID. Of course, there's no reason for alarm. As I told you on yesterday's show, the WHO, the World Health Organization, has said there's extremely low possibility of this becoming any kind of threat to the general public. We know that norovirus and COVID can be spread more easily than hantavirus. Normally, the Hantavirus is spread from rodent droppings, mice, rats, their droppings, their feces, their urine, coming in contact with those type of droplets. We remember the sad story of Gene Hackman and his wife. She passed away from hantavirus. While taking care of him, he's now deceased, Alzheimer's, and didn't know how to call 911 when she fell ill. She was his caretaker, and we heard the word hantavirus from there. But we are now hearing it again due to this cruise ship now off the coast of Cape Verde. Still has over 100 passengers on it as of today's show, and that at least three people have lost their lives, and five more possibly infected, including the doctor who was taking care of patient zero, that first gentleman who didn't know he had hantavirus and was sick, and some others. So they're still tracking it. Remember, the Fort Lauderdale Air and Sea Show is this weekend. If you want to get out, do something with the family that's not going to cost you a lot. Just parking probably and a lot of walking in the hot sun. I don't know, people in Broward, what do you what do you want to do? Have you ever been to the Fort Lauderdale Air and Sea Show? That's a military style exhibit, like flyovers of jets and planes and things in the water. It's kind of cool. I know kids love it because it's loud. So make sure you also take into consideration the traffic along A1A in Fort Lauderdale if you're going to the beach. You might not want to go this weekend unless, of course, if you're in Broward, going to the Air and Sea Show. So just remember, we're going to experience some very, very hot temperatures this weekend. I got to play a little bit of the Dawn Limit because my spirit is still quite moved by, should I read the statement by the Democratic Black Caucus asking, now, I don't believe any group should tell anyone who to run and what not to run. They can endorse what they want to endorse, who they want to endorse. But I saw a statement by the Democratic Black Caucus. Actually, I think the story was picked up by our local, what is it, WLRN, our local PBS, public broadcasting station. Picked it up. Let me type it in real quick. Asking, because it's so controversial, a certain representative not to run because they want to support a black candidate. Black Caucus. Let me see if I can get the statement and read it verbatim. Don't want to get in trouble. This is the Suzette Speak Show. The time is now 1:53. Hope you're having a beautiful Fire Friday. This is my favorite day of the week because our DJs, woo, put it on. Let me tell you. So, let me put in the person's name just to see if it pops up, if there's, and I can read it verbatim. Because there's, like I'm going to say, because there's less districts. Okay, I'll read the story right now. According to the WLRN, our public broadcaster, the Broward Black Democrats have now put out a statement saying that Debbie Wasserman Schultz should not run in the newly drawn District 20. Did I just explain to you? If you're just joining me the first half of the show, I went over what the new districts look like. In South Florida, there used to be a lot more room for Democratic leaning districts. They have cut them. So now there is only one true Democratic leaning district, which is now District 20. It was held by Sheila Surfalis McCormick. She has resigned. She's now running again. But within this district, there's going to be a lot of competition because they're cutting the new map of Florida is cutting 8 Democratic leaning districts out of 28 that go to the United States Congress only to 4. So in this letter, let me just read it straight from WLRN. In the wake of Florida's redistricting shakeup, an article published about 4 days ago on the Florida Roundup, the Democratic Black Caucus of Broward County has made an urgent plea to Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz. They said, quote, do not run in Florida's 20th district. Now listen, black voters have always been the soul of the Democratic Party, and Florida's 20th congressional district has been an anchor of black political representation for over 3 decades. We have a duty to speak out on what happens to it next, the organization said in a press release. So the Democratic Black Caucus of Broward County has now put out a statement asking Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz not to run in Congressional District 20. This is a district that was once held by the late Alcee Hastings. After his passing, it was won by Sheila Surfalis McCormick. Now, speaking to reporters, according to WLRN, speaking to reporters at a press conference in Plantation last Friday, Wasserman Schultz confirmed she would run for re-election, but was non-committal on where she would run. Now, will she run in District 20 or not? We don't know. I will be running in a district where I have the opportunity and privilege to continue to represent my constituents in South Florida. The Democratic Black Caucus of Broward County made it clear that it hoped that in the Florida's District 20, they hoped that it would not be Debbie Wasserman Schultz's landing spot. They continued in their press release. The group's press release said, quote, to Congresswoman Wasserman Schultz, we acknowledge the new map dismantled much of your current district. It has hurt many of us, and it hurt you too. What we ask is that the choice you make will not be to run in the Florida 20. The new map produces other districts where your record would make you a strong candidate. None of them is this one, the group's press release stated. Wow. So they are asking Debbie Wasserman Schultz, the Broward County Democratic Black Caucus. You can read the press release for yourself. I'm reading it via the Florida Roundup on WLRN South Florida, the public broadcaster for South Florida. I do have one caller. Caller, I'm almost out of time. Caller, you're on the air. How can I help you? You have a comment? Yes, tell me.
But I'm rushing to say Happy Mother's Day to all the
Oh. Thank you. Yes, it is Mother's Day. I told you all of the different days that are celebrated this month, but yes, one of the most important. It's coming up on Sunday.
Sunday.
Yay.
I'm not going to be able to say shout out to this.
Yes.
Shout out to hopefully.
Yes.
But I'm one of your favorite listeners, one of the prized girls down there. Olive out of Lauderdale. We just want a laptop from you guys. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Olive, thank you so much for keeping it locked, and congratulations for winning your new laptop. And we always appreciate listeners like yourself with their support for the station and what we do for the community. We appreciate you, my darling.
Yes, I just want to say Happy Mother's Day to all of you.
Hey.
I bear with you.
Yeah.
Love you. All right, Susan.
Thank you. You made my day. Happy Mother's Day to you. If you're celebrating, and to all the mothers and like me, the aunties and everybody, happy Mother's Day. Beautiful. Thank you for calling. We appreciate you for listening and your support here. Take care, Miss Olive. You take care. Yeah, man. Thank you. Beautiful way to end our show. I thank you so much, Ms. Olive, for that call. All of the mothers who are celebrating, listen, I can talk about politics forever, but you guys know I only got an hour. But we like to cover all of the top stories I didn't even get to play. You guys can listen for yourself. If you want to tune in, the Don Lemon Show, you can get their replay on YouTube. The interview they did this morning with Justin Pearson out of Tennessee, I think it helps us to frame what's really happening around the country and what we can be doing to fight back. Again, everybody has differences of opinion. Do you agree with the new Florida map that cuts 8 Democrats down to 4 seats that go to Congress, likely? Are you in agreement with what we're seeing, the gerrymandering in favor of Republicans around the country, where the House of Representatives was very close, Democrat versus Republican? Now they're drawing all these new districts so that the Democrats will never get back into power. Is it fair? Is it democratic? I don't know. We have a lot more to say about it, but I'm out of time. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure you follow me on all your platforms. Suzette. I'll be emceeing privately this weekend. I can't invite you. A couple birthday parties. But if you're hanging out around South Florida, I'm sure you'll run into us. Remember, our artist of the week is Buju Banton. Why? Because there's a big concert coming up. We'll tell you more about that. But thank you so much for listening. Keep it locked right here on Voice of the Caribbean for more great music.
The Lauderdale Lakes, 96.9 FM, the all-new voice of the Caribbean.
This is the all-new voice of
Thanks
the
for
Caribbean.
listening.
Better
Bye,
sounding
guys.
radio. WLYF HD2 Miami.